I'm a nobody, baby. Light me up, pour me up. I'm gone. Got me seeing genies in a bottle. Liquor got me feeling like a wrestler. Call me Santiago. Everyone listen when I speak. Don't know shit about shit, but I know ball.
What up, man? Welcome to Two Nobodies with the Mic, episode 139. How's everyone doing on this beautiful Wednesday afternoon? I believe it's what, the 16th or 18th?
18th. Oh, damn,
right.
Eddie.
I know, man. I know. I just working so much, man. Working so much. What up, tricksters? Happy
Big
birthday.
Rick.
Happy birthday to Tricky Rick. Went and visited his family the other day. Good to see the old Avenue 30 crowd. Well, who's talking shit already, man?
Someone on Instagram said, a Big T 1973 said Latinos for Caitlin Clark.
Yes, Latino
love
for
it.
Caitlin Clark. I know who that's dude. He's a cool dude. But how's everyone doing out there, man? Listen, we only have one rule to this show. Oh, look at there she is. Yeah, there she is. We only have one rule to Two Nobodies with the Mic. Eddie Money, can you tell everyone what that rule is really quick before we get into?
Do not be a loser, man.
Don't be a loser, man. We're going to talk gambling today. We have the Travelers Championship coming. We have NBA Championship, bunch of baseball, all kinds of shit, man. Soccer, whatever you guys want to talk about. We are live on Instagram and YouTube. We are an interactive show. Dude, talk your shit. You have questions, let us know. Introductions now. In the center of the ring, we have executive producer Eddie Money. What up, man?
What's up? I got my special guest with me again.
Yes,
My dog's
yes.
with me. She's chilling.
Yes, big ass dog.
Still the only female to ever get on that bed. 100%.
100%. 100%. To the right, we have the guru, the one who sees all, knows all. Rafa, the guru. Any question for him? What up, man?
What's up? What's going on?
Dude, I love the Ray Lewis. Love the Ray Lewis jersey. One of the best to ever do it. Can you say the best linebacker? Maybe ever?
I can. For me, it's easy.
Really?
Second best. But what are we considering Lawrence Taylor?
Let's see. That's the thing, right? Is he defensive end? Is he a linebacker? So
let's call him a linebacker. Ray Lewis is second best. I still think Ray Lewis is the best middle linebacker ever, period, hands down.
There you go.
There you go. That's hard. That's very difficult to argue. Great point and great placement. Great placement. So
I'd like to say, CJ, fuck you. Just so you know.
Oh, yes. Hey. Yes. Arigato. So, guys. Oh, what are you talking about, grandma cookies over there, man?
He said he hadn't heard a grandma cookie joke in a long while.
CJ is baking them in Eddie Money's kitchen as we speak, or in the basement. He has an easy bake oven that they let him cook all his meals in the basement. Yeah.
CJ literally texts me right now, and he said to back up Eddie Money, I personally heard him clapping cheeks on that bed.
Why?
We don't know what cheeks though, dog.
Yeah.
We don't know what cheeks though. It's not a good.
I'm hoping it's not. I'm hoping it's not Zeppies.
No. Oh man.
Oh, dude. All right.
I just heard an echo of laughter.
Enough of Eddie Money's personal life.
Yes.
Bestiality.
No bestiality.
That
is also an unwritten rule for Two Nobodies. No bestiality.
Yeah.
We draw the line there. So
we draw.
Other than that. So guys, how's everyone doing out there? Like I said, we're gonna talk gambling. We're gonna talk sports. We're gonna step away from that.
Talk some other shit too.
Yeah, we're gonna talk some other shit. But guys, you guys know the deal by now. Every week, our first segment, one day, brought to you by Malbin, the Life brand. We had a little segment today. People now, if you ask me, I told you what Malbin is. Went to Costco today. What do I get? A compliment. And what is that? He asked what the M was, and I said it's a golf. He goes, didn't they do a collab with Undefeated? I said that's the ones. So
and it's the one I'm wearing today.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Isn't that
so crazy. it's so crazy because if you don't know about them, you might know about, Willie Nelson. They have done a collab with, or Reef Keefe is this what I got on right now, right?
Keith guy.
Chief Keefe.
Chief
I'm
Keef.
I'm old, man.
Chief.
I'm old. I'm old. I shouldn't be even wearing this shit. This looks like I'm 16 years old. But
I like
anyways,
it.
I like it too. But Shanae says like you're too old. Shanae's like you can't be wearing that shit. So, anyways, guys, we always start out the
Big
show.
T said M for Mulligan.
We don't do mulligans, man. Actually, last Saturday I did do one mulligan. I let Jacob have one, and he needed it and still beat him. But anyways,
He also said didn't like him, but Romanowski was a beast.
Romanowski, outside linebacker though. Outside linebacker, but Romanowski was definitely that dude that you hated until he was on your team. Still love me some Bill Romanowski. But we start off the show with a segment called "You Are Fired." We also can hire people, just someone that has got on your nerves or someone you want to give props to. Let us know. Let us know on YouTube or Instagram who you want to fire or hire. Eddie Money, you want to kick us off with your fire?
Oh, of course. I actually have a very recent hiring just came out today.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually going to hire the NFL for their new drop. They did NFL kits, so like soccer jerseys, but all NFL teams.
Oh, that's sort of dope.
And I feel like they all
That
came
is
out.
not fucking dope
really
at all.
well.
If you fucking wear that, I will think you fucking bought it at the swap meet. Don't
You know
fucking ever
what?
wear that shit.
I just didn't say I would wear it. I think I said the designs are cool and it came out really well.
You know what? There's some.
Not all of them, but some of them are pretty cool.
Let me
Bro.
see. I like
that
the
shit looks
Panthers.
fucking
This
awful.
was nice.
Very
they're-
MLS. Very MLSy.
Yeah, bro,
Yes.
they look fucking terrible. That Fanatics on the fucking sleeve. What the fuck is that shit? Bro, that literally looks like the shirt. Bro.
Yeah, don't act like there's never a big sponsor. There's not a
I was
big
gonna
ass
say
sponsor
every
on the-
every soccer
every other
kit
soccer kit.
has the sponsor
That's
instead of the
fucking
team.
soccer. That's fucking different.
The Raiders
These
is
these
horrible.
look awful.
This one's
These-
cool. I like this one.
No,
they
that's
are fucking-
horrible.
these look
That's
awful.
horrible.
That one's nice. Good color
The
design.
only one that looks decent is the Ravens one. That Patriots one actually looks good, but they still look fucking awful.
Awful's
What's
insane.
What's the? Oh, you know what? That's a bold.
No, some of the
statement, guys,
designs
definitely.
may look good. The only problem is they're fucking NFL football teams. That's the fucking problem. Dude, if I see one of the players wearing this on the sideline when they're not playing, I would be disgusted. They're
What if
usually in a hoodie or
first
a
week they all
t-shirt.
just come out of this.
But listen, Rafa, you know what they're trying to do? They're trying to market to Europe, and I mean, listen, soccer's the
Bro,
biggest,
leave that shit for the swap meet.
There ain't no more swap meets, man. The shit's
There's
empty.
no more
We all
swap
know
meets because there's plenty of swap meets, Eddie. ICE hasn't taken them all yet.
They can't take Santa Fe Springs.
They tried.
Oh, they
Trust
tried.
me,
They
they
tried.
tried. They no motherfuckers
tried,
showing up
man.
this weekend there.
Anyone wearing that ice will get you for sure.
100%. Thank you, Rick. Dude, that shit looks like the guys that are wearing that wear the ones that say Los Angeles. It's not even the real purple and gold. That is 1,000%. Bro, trust me. That shirt will get you deported, American or not. You're getting deported in that.
Yeah, blonde hair, long eye, blue eyes. You're going
Get his ass.
You're going straight to Guatemala. So that's okay. Eddie Money, you try to hire. I think we vetoed that hiring, and I think we actually fired that.
I think I got fired.
That's the first veto in a while. Usually the hirings or firings get approved, but good effort. Don't wear those.
Garbage.
That's a garbage. That's another rule. Guys, I have a couple hirings. Actually, I have 3 hirings, and this might go a little while.
He was just
First-
having a good day today.
First of all, I love to hire JJ Spawn. Wins the U.S. Open. That let's also hire lab putters. Yeah, forget about trying to get a lab right now. They're just flying off the shelves. If you didn't watch the U.S. Open at Oakmont, it was incredible. And I just want to give him props. It was on Father's Day. He went through some shit, had to take his kid to CVS and whatever. But Rafa, what I thought was so impressive. Listen, everyone bitched about how hard that course was. A lot of people did fall off, but he birdied those last 2 holes. it's not because everyone choked. He went out and won that after, shooting a 40 on the front nine, came back, and JJ Spawn, a Dodger fan, an LA guy, and just real props to him. Went to a playoff in the PGA Championship with Rory and barely lost that. So props to him. I want to hire JJ Spawn for representing LA. And then I want to hire the Florida Panthers for an impressive season. Rafa will tell you that he tried to tell me on the group chat the other day. We all tried to fight back. Best team ever in hockey.
It's the best team I've ever seen, in my opinion. And I haven't watched hockey.
Okay. Well,
to me,
I mean, go ahead.
When I compare them to, like, let's say 97, 98 Detroit, I think it was, that was a good team. This team, they literally beat the 2, 3, and 4 seeds in the East. And then they beat an Oilers team that, if they wouldn't have had that horrendous start to the season, they would have been one of the 2 or 3 better teams record-wise, points-wise, in the West. And we know in reality they are the best team in the West. I mean, Colorado's good, Dallas is good, but the Oilers were clearly the last 2 years the best team, and they beat the Oilers, we could say arguably the most talented team in the league besides the Florida Panthers. I feel like the Florida Panthers have 8 guys that would be instantly one of the 3 best players on any team in the NHL.
That's a good point. Carolina also an incredible team. Who knew South Florida and Florida would be, with the Tampa Bay winning some championships and Florida now back to back.
4 of the last 5 NHL champions from the state of Florida, where it don't fucking snow, baby.
Just wild. Pretty awesome. My question to you is this, okay? And usually, if you haven't seen, Rafa has he has like 3 or 4 Connor McDavid jerseys, a Kane jersey from the Oilers, freaking badass. And no one can argue that Connor McDavid is and has been the best hockey player on the planet. Would you say for the last 3 years at least, Rafa?
At least the last 3.
At least the last 3. And I started, so I heard today on the radio that he has 1 more year on his contract. Okay, obviously, if you're Edmonton, you're gonna give him the world. I heard he lives in there. He loves the people. Edmonton, so much history, so much tradition. Great place to play. And if they hadn't run into the Florida Panthers the last 2 years, they would have their names all over that Stanley Cup. But I started to think, Rafa, when I heard that he has 1 more year on his contract, obviously Edmonton wants him, okay? But if you're Connor McDavid, are you looking for the back door? Are you getting kind of like, I know he has Draisaitl, right? Another superstar. I mean, they have dudes on that team, obviously. But do you think he's looking for the back door? Because I started thinking about players in my generation that were the best of their time, and they all have chips. They all have chips, okay? And I wrote them down. Messier, Lemieux, Yager, Peter Forsberg, Joe Sakic, right? Patrick Waugh, all at Colorado, all won chips. Obviously Gretzky. Ovechkin even got one, right? Stevie Yzerman, Sid the Kid, Crosby, Brett Hull. I might be missing some superstars, right?
Mark Messier.
I said Messier was the first one.
Oh, okay.
I mentioned. They all have their name on that Stanley Cup. And that's kind of a rarity, right? When you think of the best, and for all of them to have championships, is Connor McDavid getting nervous that he might not get his name on the holy grail of trophies? Because let's not get it twisted. To me, the Stanley Cup is the best trophy in all of sports. Was it King Stanley or
something like
right?
that?
Yeah, King
Lord
Stanley's
Stanley,
trophy.
I believe.
Lord Stanley. Yeah. What do you think, Rafa? Is it a possibility? Do you think he's starting to have second thoughts? Do I need to go somewhere else? I mean, he has been in the finals the last 2 years. Not like he's far away.
The team's it's not that the team's not good enough. The team is a great team. They won 7 games last year against Florida. They won 6 games this year. In my opinion, I think this series should have gone 5. I thought that game they won, which
Miracle
I think was
game.
4. I think that
4-1.
Yeah, I think they had no business winning that game. They were down 3-0 early, and Florida made a mistake, and they knew it. And when you watch them last night, 2-0, and they just kept. The thing is, they ran into what I watching this team play, this Florida team. To me, when I watched them play Carolina, and just watching Rob Brindamore, the head coach at Carolina, and he didn't know what the fuck. They were down 4-0 in a hurry. And he literally said to his bench, "What the fuck are we doing?" Like they did, it was just a buzzsaw. So to me, I think they just ran into what I believe is one of the best teams of all time. That's just, and this Florida team has been knocking at the door. They couldn't beat Tampa. They couldn't beat them. And last year they beat them. This year they faced Tampa in the first round and won 7 games with Tampa. And so, but they're. So to me, I just think they ran into this buzzsaw. I don't think. Listen, Connor can never leave. Everyone gets their turn. Okay, Sid struggled to win for a little bit, and he got I think 2,
3.
Was it 3? Okay,
yes,
so Sid
3.
got 3. He also had Malkin, which was arguably one of the better, if not one of the either the second or the third best player during that stretch. Sid the Kid, Malkin, and Ovechkin. So I think he's going to get his time. I think his time will come. He's a great, Nugent Hopkins and Draisaitl are fucking great. Nick Nurse and Bouchard in the back end. They have players. They have plenty of players. It's just they ran into the Florida Panthers. So I don't think he did. And what are you going to leave to? Where are you leaving to? You're going to leave to Toronto and see if you can get them a trophy for the first time and you can get them a cup for the first time? I don't think he leaves. I think he's, to me, when I watch him play, I feel like, and it's hard to say, but I feel like when I watch him, he could be Eddie. And what
he had 1 point. He had 1 fucking point in the fucking finals.
Have you watched him? When you watch him play, when you watch that Florida defense, that's literally all hands on deck when that man's on the ice.
I'm just saying, if you were going where I think you were going, I had to stop you.
That's where I'm going. I'm not saying he's at that level. I'm not saying he's at that level.
But he's a must-watch like Gretzky. He's a must-watch like Gretzky.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. He's a must-watch. He's that type of player. He can get to that point, very close to that point. I think he can.
He looks different.
I think he will get his. I'm not saying, because to me, Gretzky's the greatest player of all time. There is no doubt about it in people's mind. And although Gretzky says it's Gordie Howe or whatever, we know that it's him, right? Yeah. So Connor, I think I think his time will come, and he's still plenty young. He's still plenty young.
27, I think. Anyways,
he's still plenty young, so I don't think he's moving. And if Edmonton manages to ever lose a player like that, like they lost Gretzky, you can't. They lost Gretzky and didn't come back from that. I don't believe until now. Until the last handful of years.
Let's move on. I have one more hiring, and it's big news today. Okay, Mark Walter of, I believe, the Guggenheim Group has bought the Los Angeles Lakers, although Jeannie Buss will still be a figurehead. And when I say figurehead, I mean literally they will post her as president or whatever in the program, and that's all she should do. You're not paying $10 billion, which is the highest sale of any American sports team in history, and then letting Jeannie continue to make decisions. So this is, we all know what the Guggenheim and Mark Walter did for the Dodgers. They went out and hired the smartest baseball people and let them run that. I'm curious to see, and I would bet you that Magic Johnson was a broker of this deal, since he is part of that group and part of the Dodgers ownership. And I think he had sold his 5% to that Chinese billionaire who owns the LA Times, the Lakers. I don't think Magic had owned anything of the Lakers, but this is, to me, a bright spot. You know, it's been a struggle for years with the Lakers. You know, I think you said it in the chat, like LeBron James has more money than, not equity, obviously, because, you know, Jeannie Buss and her family own the Lakers, but I mean, he literally has more liquid cash. When the best player on your team, or the player on your team, has more money than the ownership, that's not a good sign. But I know you have a take on this, and I'll let you do your thing. But I think this is a positive thing, and I think this is a lot of Laker fans have been waiting for the Buss family to take a step back. The Buss family has taken this thing, and Dr. Jerry Buss is a legend and was a visionary. Bought it for $67 million, and now sold for $10 billion. So Rafa, and Eddie, if you have a take on this, I just want to know your guys' take on this transaction.
Well, I think it's a great transaction, right? But I'm not like those people that are so in the NBA. They spend their money. They literally are spending their money. You can't go and get 4 max players. It doesn't matter how much money the owner has. You can't bring in 4 max contracts. It can't happen. It's not fucking allowed. What needs to change is the GM. The GM is the issue. That is the problem for the Lakers. The GM is the issue. And people are going to complain, oh, LeBron, this and that, and he brings in guys. Listen, none of those guys that are on the Lakers play the style that LeBron has always brought in. Ray Allen, Kyle Korver, Mike Miller, those guys, they don't have any of those guys. So I'm tired of dumbass Laker fans. Right? And they're not even, they think they're Laker fans, but you hate LeBron, who's on the Lakers. They're Kobe lovers. That's what they are. They're Kobe lovers. So they're going to blame, oh, no, it's because LeBron. None of the guys on this fucking team, okay, with the exception of Luka, and he don't even play that style, but it's fucking Luka. It's one of the 5 best players in the league. Yeah. But and none of those guys play the style that LeBron needs. Actually, the guy who didn't play is the only guy in reality that would help LeBron's style, which is Dalton Connect, because he can shoot the 3. Yeah. Mike Miller, Ray Allen, Kyle Korver, those J.R. Smith, those guys that when LeBron drives to the basket at any fucking age, because you saw it the last handful of weeks with him and Luka driving to the basket and the wide open 3 somewhere. That's LeBron's style. They don't have that. So all the idiots out there who are going to say, well, LeBron's a GM, you're fucking stupid. So they need to make so this is the first move the Lakers have made. And I talked about it the other day with Ryan Holmes. We mentioned it here. This is the first move that they make. We didn't think this would happen, right? They need to make a big splash. Their big splash has to be Devin Booker. And there is no way that Phoenix is not thinking, blow this whole thing up. We know Kevin Durant, which we talked about 3 weeks ago, and now Durant comes out that he wants to get traded. So we know that, by the way, and if you saw the Durant's list, if you go back and watch the episode of Ryan Holmes, we mentioned basically the 3 teams on his list. Miami, Houston, Minnesota. That's what we talked about. So to me, the Lakers, this is a great move. Now, ownership comes in, needs to sit down with Pelinka and say, listen, I need you to go and get me Devin fucking Booker. Give up whatever we need to get him and get Devin Booker. That's what they need to do. That's the next big splash for the Lakers.
You got a lot of hate on that. Everyone's saying, well, they need a big man. That's not what they need. They need defense. They need someone to protect the rim.
But you can find so many guys that can protect the rim, Eddie. There's plenty of guys out there.
Yeah.
You just didn't find one. You tried to trade for one when you were trading Dalton Connect for what's his name, whatever the guy on the Hornets. There's plenty of bigs that you can find like that. There's plenty of them. You just haven't found one. But go and find one, and you can. It's easy to find. There's plenty of JaVale McGee's running around somewhere.
Can I give you one that his birthday is today? He played at a small school out in Temecula with his bro, was defensive player of the year, and has some offensive skills, and also has one more year on his contract. Can I give you one? Evan
Let's hear it.
Mobley.
Oh, that's too much money. That's too much money because
I'd rather have Evan Mobley than Devin Booker, Rafa.
no, because listen. So you have this is the thing. So LeBron's riding off into the sunset here very soon. He's already started the ride. The ride.
Yeah.
LeBron's already on the ride. He's already on PCH. The sun is okay in October or in November, and LeBron's already on PCH. The sun is starting to set now. Okay, so LeBron, if you bring in a player like Evan Mobley, who's almost a max player, going to be a max player no matter what, or very close to a max player.
24 years old, Papa. 24. Went to USC.
Exactly. So,
LA native.
He's not good enough to be your number 2 player behind Luka. You need to bring in a real number 2, okay, and a real number 2. And Devin Booker doesn't have a problem with being number 2. He's played with Kevin Durant and been a number 2. He was a number 1 with Chris Paul when they went to the finals, but he doesn't have a problem being number 2. So you bring him in, and then you can add a big somewhere in the draft, in free agency. There is plenty of bigs that you can get, literally. And that's all you need. Luka got to the finals with fucking Derek Lively. That's not a great big. That's not Evan Mobley.
He was a rookie, and he was very good.
He's a very good player. A very good player. I'm not discrediting him. You don't need a superstar big because the league doesn't take you that way. Look at Minnesota. They have a superstar big, basically, a max player big, and Rudy Gobert. They can't get past, and they played they played the Thunder, which are probably going to win the finals, but it's not one of those teams that you're like, wow, this is a generational team.
Ask the Lakers. Rudy Gobert looked like Kareem, Wilt Chamberlain, Bill Russell.
He was guarded by fucking LeBron James.
And Shaq all into one. He dropped his putzel right on the Lakers' forehead.
Because he was guarded by LeBron because the Lakers didn't have a big that can guard
That's
him.
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
You didn't even need to guard him. You needed a big that can rebound. That's all you need. You need a big who can rebound and defend. That is all you need. You don't need because you saw LeBron and Anthony Davis. They won one title, but that team had fucking Dwight Howard. It had a bunch of players behind them. So you need a big that can defend a little bit and rebound the ball. And it's not going to command the ball on offense. You bring in Evan Mobley, it's going to slow down your offense. If he's your number 2, you're not going to win shit.
You don't need to run the offense. You don't need to run the offense through Evan Mobley. But before we get off of this, and I thought about this, right? When the Guggenheim Group came in and bought the Dodgers, they went out and got Max Friedman. They got not Max Friedman, the GM, whatever, I forget his name. I did not like your take 2-3 weeks ago about Brad Stevens. I thought that was a pipe dream. You said go, if you're James Dolan, go and go get Brad Stevens. To me, and I agree with you on this, that the best mind in basketball and who could run a team is Brad Stevens. If I am Mark Walter, I'm looking at who's the best, right? I go say, sorry, Rob, you've had a nice run. Go look like Rob Lowe, somewhere else, and go after Brad Stevens, because that's what this ownership group is known for, is hiring the best. And I agree with you, he's the best. What do you think about that move instead of, obviously, the New York Knicks thing isn't happening?
No, it's not. But Brad Stevens is the best basketball mind. So the Lakers have the Lakers ownership has plenty of money, and the Knicks ownership have plenty of money. If you want somebody to run the fucking team, that's who you go and get. Brad Stevens, obviously. So anybody who gets Brad Stevens, who can somehow take him away from Boston, and he's been there for near a decade already, I believe. If you can get him out of Boston, and he'd have to uproot his family, and I'm sure he has younger kids, Will he want to do it? It has to be something along the lines of $20 million a year.
Yeah, there's no
Are you?
salary cap in management. You can spend
Oh, of
as
course not.
much
Of
money.
course not. 100%. I agree. If the
And,
Lakers did
yeah.
that, then to me, I still think the problem is Pelinka. That's the problem for me. That I believe it is Pelinka. It's not that
He's
he's drafted
trying.
money.
He's
Oh,
trying.
100%. He's trying. There is no doubt he's trying. He just hasn't done a good job. He hasn't done a good job. Is kind of what it is. He's made moves, but there's certain moves that he hasn't been able to make. You don't have a big. You didn't get a big, and not even a good one. You tried to get one. There were other ones you could have gotten. So,
Okay.
but
Well, those are my 3 hirings. Rafa, are you ready for your hiring or firing?
Before
yeah, I'm gonna
Rafa
fire.
gets into
But-
his, Rick Flores head of firing, he said, I'd like to fire all people talking shit regarding the Dodgers needing to speak up regarding all the stuff happening right now. Those people are not true fans.
You know, Rick, there's a lot of LA's sort of a shit show right now. I am one to not talk politics and sports. Everyone wants to do it, right? Everyone wants to do it. Don't shut up and play. Listen, the Dodgers, I mean, there's Filipino night, there's one-legged person night. I mean, it's just
That was the first thing you could come up on the top of your head, Eddie.
they don't have one-legged person night. It's not a thing.
I was just going to assume you were going to start naming other races.
He went Filipino night and then one-legged person night. Like, oh, we have a one-legged field goal kicker who's going to throw out the first pitch tonight.
To me, yeah, those are people that want to, just leave that shit alone, man. Okay, what are they gonna do? What do you want? What do you want Clayton Kershaw to hide? People in his basement. What do you want them to do? What can be done? Okay, you want them to speak out. Who are they gonna? It's just, yeah. And there's plenty of Dodger fans that aren't real Dodger fans. And what's the definition of a real fan? I don't know. Yeah, there's probably a lot of definition. I love those videos, Rafa, where they go to stadiums and they'll go to like Kansas City and they're like, "Are you a diehard? Where did Patrick Mahomes go to college?" They're like, "Huh?"
Yeah. I heard Kentucky the other day in a video. Like, what?
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah. Really, there's very few people, and I consider it not even useful knowledge unless you're a gambling dude. I have so much useless sports information in my head. I wish it was engineering. I wish it was hard.
Anything else?
Anything else, but that's what I know about. I don't think it's a special gift. But anyways, my point is there's a lot of people that aren't real fans. And even people that have been fans for 20 years, So I agree with you, Rick, in a way, but there's no place in it for me, And I've had, I didn't like what they did 2-3 years ago with the Our Lady of Sister makeup shit. I hated that. There's plenty of shit I don't like in sports. I hated the Olympic shit. So we have talked about it. It's just a shit show. That's a snowball that can get out of control and run over this show in a hurry. But appreciate that. The firing approved, tricksters.
Then,
I guess I would say.
Lastly, Uncle Zero has a hiring. He is rehiring himself. So he sucks to be poor. Had to come back from retirement and went back to the work field. So he literally hired himself.
Oh my God, Uncle Zero, man! Welcome back to the work field, but that sucked. If you guys don't follow Uncle Zero on Instagram, just a hilarious follow. UPS driver, and he does these clips where he'll pull up in front of a building and just roll this toy UPS truck. It just roll it out. But the best one was he rolled up in front of this strip club. and posted it. And he's married and children. I'm like, what the fuck is he doing? Is he posting? And then he rolled the UPS toy car right in front of the strip club. Like, oh, okay. He's just making.
He's just delivering a package.
Yes, or having the wings. We all know they have great wings at those facilities. So sorry to hear that, Uncle Zero. Sorry to hear that, man. But welcome back. But Rafa, go ahead, man. Shoot.
Look, so everybody understands this is a hypothetical firing, but to me, I would like to fire ESPN for every time. They need to stop having, and I don't give a fuck if you think it's racist or not. They need to stop having black women speak about Caitlin Clark, because that play last night. There's this woman. I don't know what show it was on this morning. First Take, Last Take, the Get Up, or whatever the fuck it was. I don't know. It came across my Instagram. She literally says how the foul yesterday on her, the poke in the eye, that happens to me. It was accidental, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But after the play, right, where Caitlin kind of shoves the other chick, some random other chick, I don't know what her name is, and her name starts with M. She clearly just smacks Caitlin, right? Like just completely bumps her, like excessive steamrolled her, right? Excessive force.
Yeah.
And she says she doesn't find a problem with that, right? So she says, I didn't find a problem with the play. Says something about rivalries or physical play or whatever, blah, 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 blah. But then she complains about the play that happened later on in the game by one of the girls from the Fever, maybe Cunningham or whatever. She puts on a hard foul on a girl driving the lane. It's just a hard foul. It's literally a basketball play. Yeah, it's a little bit excessive, but you literally just spoke about Caitlin getting smacked and saying it's part of a rivalry and competition, but you didn't like the other play? Like that play didn't count?
That play was after the whistle, by the way.
Yes, exactly. 100%. There were 3
That wasn't a basketball play.
No, not at all.
And she was white. That was white on white crime right there.
White on white crime. But you have these black women that always criticize Caitlin Clark. And it's mostly on ESPN. It's on some of the Cheryl Swoops is the biggest fucking hater. And she's another one. Like literally. And they don't want to realize that Caitlin is the reason that people watch. This woman missed 2 weeks with a sprained hamstring. The viewership went down over 50% in the last 2 weeks. You lost over 50% of viewership. LaShawn McCoy said it was something like 55%. I saw 50%. Yeah. I'm always going to give you the lower number so people don't come out on there and say it was 49.9. 50% of viewership you lost in 2 weeks that this woman didn't play. She is the WNBA, whether you want to believe it or not. There's other good players, Aja Wilson, Kelsey Plum, Brianna Stewart, whatever. Paige. There's plenty of very good women basketball players. Nobody cares to watch them. They really don't. They want to watch Caitlin Clark. She has proved it since the beginning of last year. They prove it every fucking week with their ratings, with their ticket sales. When she's playing, you're having these teams, their attendance nearly doubles. They sometimes have to move games. Last year, they moved games from 8,000 person arenas to 18,000, 16,000 to fill it. And ESPN, black women constantly knocking her because they will look for any excuse to talk shit about her. Period. And it's fucking stupid. It really is.
It's kind of getting egregious at this point. If anything, it's like, can we get a black woman from ESPN to come out in Caitlin Clark's defense? Plenty of black men have come out and say, I sent you the LaShawn McCoy thing. He's like, people, like, what is going on? She is your meal ticket. It's like, I don't understand the hatred toward this. Listen, has she flopped in the past? Did she trip at Iowa when they stormed the court? Is she a little dramatic? Yes, but like 90% of it is she's getting bullied and hated on when she's like you said. I don't need to recap it. She's bringing viewership, sponsorship, money, eyeballs, men to come and watch your sport. It's just so
it's ridiculous.
Jay and I we had a little Father's Day thing on Saturday. he's a huge proponent. He loves Caitlin Clark and he watches WNBA now. I said, you know what, Jay? I said, she's not even the best player to ever play in the WNBA. And he lost his mind. That's ridiculous, Eddie. She's this, she's that. And I said, listen, her style of play is what is different and attractive to people. It is the second coming of Steph. We had never seen anything like Steph before. And I really believe she brings the showmanship. You know, what was it on Sunday when they had 3 million viewers? She hit like a 37 footer.
5 up in the first half.
Yeah, man, and it's actually fun to watch. It's different. It's different. It's something that we have not seen in the WNBA before. And my argument was, I'm not saying that she's the best player to ever play in this league, which we're going to get into. But she is definitely a different style and the most marketable player, in my opinion. But do you agree or disagree with that? Or do you think that she is the best player to ever, don a WNBA uniform?
No, she's on my Mount Rushmore, though. I'll tell you that. She's on
Come-
my Mount Rushmore, Eddie. She's
okay.
on my Mount Rushmore. If I take the women's Mount Rushmore of WNBA, not women's basketball in general, just the WNBA, she's on my Mount Rushmore.
That's ridiculous.
Listen, to me, and by the way, real quick, I know Matthew's spamming the chat. He wants to fire the FIFA World Cup. And after we do WNBA, I actually want to address that statement that he made, which would be great. So we can talk about it afterwards. We got a little WNBA shit we're going to get into here.
Yeah.
But, and Eddie, you said that she reminds you of Curry. To me,
yes.
the only thing that she reminds me of Curry is that she can shoot the ball from 3. Curry isn't a triple-double machine. He's not a very good rebounder. And when we see him, he averages, I believe, less than 7 assists for his career as a point guard. So Curry is, yes, the best shooter ever. Caitlin is the best shooter ever in the WNBA, whether you guys want to believe it or not. She rebounds the ball. She makes her team better. This team was the worst team before the start of last season. And, yeah, they drafted Boston, whatever. She's still the best player in the league. She's the second best player in the league today. And I think she's one of the 4 best players to ever wear a WNBA jersey.
That's egregious, Rob. It's just too freaking early. So, Eddie Money, we talked about this. We are going to do the Mount Rushmore of WNBA. And it was a little more difficult than I thought. And I don't know if
for
CJ...
me, it's fucking easy.
He put Caitlin Clark 4 times.
yeah.
For me, it's easy.
But do you have one, Eddie Money? Because I have a list.
I do not.
Okay. So, and if CJ, I know CJ has opinions on this, like his sister on his half sides, cousins,
his
gardeners.
sister's grandma's cousin played.
Yeah.
Black people have as many cousins as Mexicans, by the way. It's insane. It's
not
insane.
more than the Polynesians, though. Every single person.
Every Polynesian knows.
Yeah, but those families are bigger. I feel like Mexicans, just because they share the same last name, they're cousins. Like, nah, we're from the same pueblo, so we're cousins. No, you're not.
Yeah.
No, you're not.
Okay, fair enough. But let me give you my Mount Rushmore of the WNBA. Right, there's only 4, but and they're not in any certain order. Okay, I'm going to give, first of all, my honorable mention to Asia Wilson, current stud for the Las Vegas Aces. She is a 2-time champion, 3-time league MVP. And obviously, I think is the best player right now in the league. That is my honorable mention. Now, next is Lisa Leslie. Okay, from out here, went to USC, played for the Sparks. She is a 2-time champ, 7-time first team, All NBA. 3 MVPs. Next, I'm going to go with Candace Parker. And let me preface this. I based it on
Sparks fan?
No, not by any means. not by any means. But let me preface this by saying this: I went off of skill, obviously ability, marketability, and sort of fame and recognition, right? Candace Parker, 3-time champ, 7-time first team, all WNBA. Next, Diana Taurasi, longtime face of the league. She has three championships, 11-time All-Star, 10-time first team WNBA. And then next is Sue Bird. She's a 4-time champ, 13-time All-Star, and 5-time first team All WNBA. I know I will get hammered for that for the fans out there. There's some heavy hitters that I left out, but to me, those were, because I'll be honest, I've never been a huge WNBA fan, but those are the names that I know. Those are the ones that I believe transcended and sort of, I would follow them and be a fan of, and that's why they made my Mount Rushmore. How off am I? I know CJ thinks I'm way off and probably doesn't have, maybe one of the same.
CJ had one of the ones that you had, and I fucking basically knocked his ass off, I think, when him and I were texting about it, because he goes, "What's your list?" And so, but I'm gonna give you mine.
Let's hear it, man.
I'm gonna give you mine. I'm gonna rank them in fucking order.
Ooh.
Number 4, Caitlin Clark. Okay, that's a transcending athlete. She has put this sport at the level that it's at right now, which is people are actually watching. Okay, not as many people obviously as they watch them in. That's a transcending athlete. I put Caitlin Clark at number 4. Number 3, I put, to me, the best all-around player that the WNBA has ever seen, because Caitlin is only in her second year. Now, Caitlin, in 5 years, she will take this person's spot. But to me, I'm going to put A'ja Wilson at number 3. 3 MVPs, 2 titles, et cetera, et cetera. She's 20-9, and she shoots 80% from the free throw line. So, number 2, Maya Moore. Maya Moore, to me, when I saw Maya Moore play at Connecticut, I thought that was the best women's player I'd ever seen. And Candace Parker was good at Tennessee. Maya Moore, I believe she's a 3-time champion, et cetera. She won 1 MVP. She's got like 5 first team All WNBA. She didn't play very long either, right? And so I think she's already retired. And number 1, which you didn't have on this list, CJ didn't have on this list, the only woman to win 4 WNBA titles. And by the way, the second best player at USC, not fucking Lisa Leslie. We know Cheryl Miller's first.
Yes.
Cynthia Cooper from the Houston Comets won a title 97, 98, 99, and 2000. The first 4 years of WNBA, she had Cheryl Swoops on her team, but Cynthia Cooper averaged 22 a game for her first 3 seasons. The first year of the WNBA, we had someone at 15 or whatever, or 19. Nobody was averaging 20 before Cynthia. 4 WNBA Finals MVPs at the age of 33, 34, 35, and 36. So played 4 years. She took 2 years off, coached, came back, only played 6 games. Cynthia Cooper, to me, without a doubt, is the best WNBA player to ever play. 4 years, 4 Finals MVPs, 4 titles, and she should have won 4 fucking MVPs. In year 3, they gave it to the girl from Sacramento, Griffith or whatever, who, she was high. But Cynthia Cooper, man, at the age of 36, was still winning the Finals MVP on a team with Cheryl Swoops on it.
King of the Hill just said Cheryl Swoops. I thought you were gonna. I thought you were gonna go.
Said Lisa Leslie, Deanna Taurasi, Swoops, and Maya Moore.
I thought you were gonna go Rebecca Lobo on me.
Rebecca Lobo. This is the thing. Cynthia Cooper. When WNBA starts, Lisa Leslie, Rebecca Lobo, and Cheryl Swoops are all in their prime age. Yet they couldn't win finals or Finals MVP. Cheryl Swoops was on that team. Cynthia Cooper was 4-time Finals MVP. Cynthia Cooper finished first in MVP in 97, first in MVP in 98, third in MVP, first team All Defense, first team All WNBA, all 4 years. On a team with Cheryl Swoops. Cheryl Swoops was Scottie Pippen to Cynthia Cooper's Michael Jordan. That's the truth. That's the
No, no.
that's the truth.
That's some good stuff. Look at us. We lost all our viewers. We talked hockey and WNBA for the first 50 minutes. Everyone's like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" But
By the way, I want to admit to something. That
self-report. Self-report.
I want to fucking self-report that for the WNBA's first 3 seasons, I watched.
What?
I fucking watched. That's why when people mention the WNBA, I will always go back to Cynthia Cooper because she was the second, probably, well, she was the best of the older players. Nancy Lieberman played, and she was 39, but she wasn't really, she was already 39, right? But
wow.
So I'm self-reporting that I did watch the WNBA the first 3 seasons. I want to let you know, and then I didn't watch for 22 after that.
Dude, Rafa, when he says he knows balls, unlike many WNBA players, he knows some balls. That's wild. That's why I did not know that. So that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, no, a lot of people didn't know that.
Yeah. So when people start spitting, I know more. Yeah, Rafa's gonna take you. He's gonna drag you to deep waters and start talking WNBA.
Who was the MVP in the first 2 years?
That's the problem that I have with Lisa Leslie and Rebecca Lobo. That in their prime, they could never be. They weren't better than Cynthia Cooper. And Cynthia Cooper was at 33 plus. These girls were at 22, 23, 24, 25, whatever. So they were 7, 8 years younger.
I kind of had a take on Rebecca Lobo because that's where I thought you were going. I feel like Rebecca Lobo sort of was like the Bill Russell of the WNBA, like
Lisa Leslie could have been Will Chamberlain.
Yes, that's exactly
Bill Russell, right?
Like they were the only two.
Yeah, they were the only two. Like you were good, but we might name.
Yeah. Okay, so listen. I didn't watch the first 3 years, and I knew that. So there you go.
By the way, can we get to Matt's comment? He wanted to fire the FIFA World Cup. Cheapest tickets were $300, and in Charlotte Tuesday 3 p.m. game. They wonder why nobody. I'm going to tell you something, and so on Monday, I believe it was Monday, Chelsea plays LAFC in Atlanta, and it's a 3 p.m. game, and they had 22,000 fans. A couple of the players from Chelsea, they're not used to playing that shit unless they're playing, third division teams in the FA Cup or in the other cup that they play, Carabao or whatever it's called. And they were in shock. And the thing is, first of all, you had LAFC playing in Atlanta, and you had Chelsea. Atlanta's not really a city that's going to go out and support soccer like that. And I know they have Atlanta United or whatever the fuck. Those games are on Saturday. So to get a game at 1 o'clock on Monday at 3 p.m., like it's not going to work in that city. Like today, you had Manchester City playing Lincoln Field in Philadelphia, and more than half of that stadium was empty. Manchester City, we're talking about one of the 3 best teams on the planet with all the stars in the world, and they struggled to fill it up. They might have had I don't even know if they had 35,000 fans there. So
not a good look.
Whoever did the scheduling for the FIFA World Cup, they did a terrible job. They really did. Like you have teams like, for example, like Boca Junior, who's the biggest Argentina team, and then you have River, who's also a huge Argentina team. But you had Boca play in Miami. Miami's full of Argentinians. They're gonna go no matter the time, whatever. I would have put that team in Atlanta and have those fans go and travel to see them. That team has a huge following, following. But you put a team from LA all the way in Atlanta who doesn't have a real following. You didn't put a Mexican team there. You could have put a Mexican team there, pulled a Mexican team out of LA because LA has so much. There's LA's a lot, more diverse city, right? So you could have put maybe one Mexican team in LA, not 2, and I think they have 2 here that were playing here. Like I just wouldn't have done it. I would have put the Mexican teams in Atlanta, maybe even in Charlotte, and then had those other teams where not a lot of people are going to watch. Put those teams in LA, you have a bigger market that and more likely to sell tickets to watch some of these teams. So you had like Inter Milan and Monterrey, 2 huge teams, a huge Mexican team, not the biggest, but a big Mexican team, and Inter Milan, a huge team. You could have moved somebody else. You had AC Milan and PSG or whatever. I think it was on Sunday. It just you took the big teams and you put them in LA when you didn't need to. You could have put smaller teams in LA. You would have sold out Rose Bowl no matter what because it's fucking soccer in LA. And you could have moved those teams that are bigger names to smaller cities to fill those stadiums up. Charlotte, maybe Atlanta, Cincinnati. Today you have a game in Cincinnati. You have a Mexican team and a German team in Cincinnati, like in the middle of fucking nowhere. How many Germans are in Cincinnati? And then all 72 Mexicans that live there. It's stupid.
There's, you know what, and I know this. It's a weird thing. There's actually a huge German population in Columbus, Ohio. I know because
Eddie knows. You've been there.
I've been there, and they have the most amazing what is it, like pastry shop? It's called Little Germany or something. I've been there. Very, very cool. Right in Columbus, next to Ohio State. So there you go, Rafa. You might know
so much more with their scheduling. Like you had Miami playing in Miami. Dude, people will go watch Messi anywhere. You could have put that team to play somewhere else, not in Miami.
Yeah.
At least not for the first game. I don't think they're playing their second games in Miami. But you could have moved them from there. Everyone's going to go see Messi wherever the fuck he plays. So you need to draw the fans. It's all scheduling, I think. You know, Manchester City not getting the love there in Philadelphia. You might have put them in New York. Maybe you would have sold that game out.
Man City is like not even the top 3. They're like top 3 sports organizations in the world. It's like, you know, Real Madrid, Barca, New York Yankees, Lakers. That's how big they are. But
so yeah, whatever. I had a bad thing for the FIFA World Cup. I was thinking that shit the other day when I saw it. I couldn't believe it.
And prices too. $300. Come on, man.
$300 is bad.
If the stadium's half full, it is.
Well, no, 100%. Matt also wants to fire the Bruins for making Marchand. Marchand was a Boston Bruin. He went to Florida.
He's was
lifting the cup. Phenomenal. And then he also wants to firing a lot of Boston shit going on today.
Oh, by the way, real quick, can we say happy anniversary to Matt Rocha and his lovely wife, Lauren?
Oh yeah.
Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary, bud.
3 years. Very, very tall human beings. Very, very tall human beings. But congrats, Matt. Tell your lovely wife happy anniversary from 2 nobodies. And thank you for always supporting, man. Always showing up and talking your shit. That's what we love on this show.
He also wants to fire the Red Sox for letting Devers go.
So let's transition to baseball. Rafael Devers. I said this about a month ago when they brought in the third baseman from Houston, who I love, Bergman, right? Who is just a stud. They brought him in. I thought it was a great move. I guess the communication was bad. And Rafael Devers was not happy in how that thing went. They moved into, and we need Eddie Money to do his Dominican impression. I'm not very happy, man. I don't know.
Hey, man. I'm just saying, man, I'm not so happy with what they're doing, man.
There you go. That's horrible, by the way, but thank you for trying.
I got put on the spot.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. So, I said that Dalton Rushing, when they got rid of Barnes over in LA, Austin Barnes, and they brought Rushing in, I thought it was for them to showcase this dude, and I thought they were going to go make the move and get Devers, because it was no secret that Devers was unhappy in Boston. He was unhappy that he was a third, that he was a DH now, and I thought the move. But listen, we had a big post this week on Dodgers, Giants, Padres, and it's funny to see how all the comments went. I think 70% agreed that it's not that Giants are the Dodgers rivals. They all agreed with Rafa. A lot of San Diego people were like, "It's you guys starting it. We can give a shit about you." That's a joke, because the one thing which is a sign for me is you will never be in a Los Angeles arena, stadium, field, and hear LA fans say beat San Diego or
It doesn't,
beat.
because it doesn't come off. It doesn't come off the tongue. That's why. Don't say that.
Have you ever heard it?
Because it doesn't come off the tongue.
So, because beat LA sounds good.
What other city is considered with 2 letters? What other city?
SD San Diego.
No. You are fucking so wrong. When you go somewhere, Eddie, where do you tell people you're from? Do you tell them you're from Los Angeles? No, you don't. You say I'm from LA. Yes or no?
Okay. Oh, yes. Okay. But how easy would it be to say?
It's very simple. Beat LA.
Celtics sucks. Padres suck. Giants suck.
That's not a thing.
You can say that.
That's not a thing.
You can say that. That rolls out the tongue.
It doesn't even sound good though. Like it doesn't even roll off the tongue. Beat LA rolls off the tongue. Like beat LA rolls right off the tongue. That's why.
Can I give a pet peeve? And this is another sign of just haterism at its finest, because I see it all the time in LA. Not so much now, but remember, and you, Rafa, as a car guy, and especially living or having your business in Pacoima and San Fernando, you saw, remember the kid, the sticker pissing on the Ford?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I forget what it was called. But when I would roll up to a truck, and if you put up a sticker of that kid pissing on the Raider emblem, and you're like a Charger fan, or dude, I used to see it all the time. That is living in your head. Like I hate Kansas City. I would never consider that. That's living in your head rent free. That's sort of what I'm talking about here. You know,
I don't think that. The thing is, for me, beat LA just sounds so easy to say. Like, if they were the Brooklyn Dodgers, you wouldn't be saying beat Brooklyn, because it doesn't sound good and it's just a lot longer. Too many syllables. Beat LA is wham bam. If Atlanta was known as ATL, like literally everybody called it that. You don't call it that. You say I'm from Atlanta, I'm from Miami, I'm from New York. Nobody says I'm from NY. Nobody says that. But you say LA because it's literally 2 fucking words. Los Angeles, abbreviated to LA. That's where, but nobody says I'm from Los Angeles. Everyone says I'm from LA. It's very easy to say. Nobody says, oh, I'm from SF. No, you don't. You just say I'm gay. Whatever. But
that's just what it is. As long as I thought you were talking about San Fernando, I go, because I know plenty of dudes who say I'm from SF.
Well, you grew up with some cholos probably, but that's a different deal.
Yeah,
I'm talking about San Francisco Giants.
Yeah, let's get that.
Oh
straight.
my god!
I know plenty of people that say I'm from SF, and it ain't San Francisco. So, you know what? Technically, I'm not wrong though, Rafa. Technically, I'm not wrong.
The thing is, for you to like, the Dodgers haven't historically been good enough for you to even. 100%. Are you kidding? Eddie, don't.
We used to have this argument all the time.
The Dodgers historically have not been that good. Let's be real.
What are we talking about here? Are we talking? We're talking about over the span of a century.
Now, I'm talking historically. When we look at all-time players, the all-time players of Major League Baseball, all time, are they on the Dodgers? Or is it the Yankees? Is it the Cardinals? Is it the Giants? Really?
Yes. What? Duke Snyder, Jackie Robinson,
Duke Snyder's better than who? Duke Snyder's better than who?
Okay, listen. I will just say this: the Brooklyn and Los Angeles Dodgers are a top 4 pillar organization in Major League Baseball. Top 4. If you want to say Yankees, Red Sox, Cardinals, Dodgers, Cubs.
Not
the
Cubs.
top 5. Okay,
Not Cubs.
so not Cubs. Top 4. Top 4.
That's fine. 4 is fine. But historically,
That's-
when we look at World Series, when we look at all-time great players, the all-time greatest players, how many are Dodgers?
A
Realistically,
shit ton.
are
a
you kidding me?
A shit ton. A shit
Eddie,
ton.
you want to go by position? Do the Dodgers have a great first baseman ever?
I want to say
Not a Dodger. Not a Dodger. If you're going to say Freddie Freeman,
yes.
he's not a Dodger.
No. Steve Garvey.
Eddie,
Garvey.
We're-
Dodger and should be in the Hall of Fame. I'm sorry.
But he's
You
not in the
asked-
Hall of Fame. But he's not in the Hall of Fame.
He should be.
But he's
should be.
not. What
And he
about at
might
second
be.
base? What about
Second
at second
base?
base?
Davey Loeb, Steve Sachs.
Are they
Keep going.
in the Hall
Keep
of
going.
Fame? Are they? They're not in the Hall of Fame.
Jackie Robinson, second base. Hall
Okay.
of Fame.
Jackie Robinson. That's shortstop.
Shortstop, Pee Wee Reese. Hall of Fame.
Not in. Is he in the Hall of Fame?
Yes.
It has to be. Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
When
keep
did
going.
he play? When did he play?
I
Okay,
think-
fine.
good.
Pee Wee Reese. Third baseman.
Pee Wee
Do we
Reese.
have a third baseman? Do we have a third baseman?
Ron Say, Adrian Beltran.
Adrian Beltre. If I think he went in the Hall of Fame, I think he went in as a Ranger. You could double check that though. So you
Started
can't
with the
claim him.
Dodgers, baby. Oh, the bullshit.
You
Bullshit.
cannot claim him. Did he go in the Hall of Fame?
Yes.
What hat is he wearing in the Hall of Fame, Edward?
I don't give a shit. We found him in
You-
the Dominican. We
And you
plucked
found him
him.
and you couldn't keep him. And you couldn't keep him.
That was a
You
huge
could-
mistake.
So if you made a mistake, he's not a Dodger. Did Mike Piazza go into the Hall of Fame with a Dodger hat on?
Roy Campanella, Hall of Fame.
Mike
Mike Piazza.
Piazza-
Mike Piazza's a Dodger. Stop it.
He's a
Stop
Met.
it.
He went in. I'm
Stop
talking
it.
about the
Stop
hat
it.
that went into the Hall of
Stop
Fame,
it.
Eddie.
No,
The
stop
hat
it.
that he went into the Hall of Fame.
He-
I'm sorry, the Dodgers don't have all timers to stack up with these other
I
clubs.
just okay. Look at right here. I'll
Lou
show you
Brock,
one right
Bob
here.
Gibson, Stan the Man, Albert Pujols. That's just off the top of the dome for the Cardinals.
You know who that is right there, Papa?
Of course. Listen, don't show
The
me ever a Dodger
Penguin!
bobblehead. They have a bobblehead of a Coca-Cola delivery guy, I'm sure. They're awful.
Oh
They're
yeah.
awful.
For you to say that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
Eddie, I don't think their players are not historically great. When we're looking at all-time players, there is never a Dodger that comes on into the top. There never is.
Okay, I gave you. I think Duke Snyder played first as well. By the way, okay.
Listen, when we talk about historically,
The
great
Duke
players,
is historic. Is he's a
Is he
not
better
gender-
than Stan Musial? Is he
I was
better
gonna
than
say,
Lou Gehrig?
okay,
Is he
I was
better
gonna
than?
then
There's just
then
so many guys.
There
There's so many
is.
guys. How many pitchers do they have in the Hall of Fame? 2?
oh, a shit ton.
5.
Name them. Sandy Koufax and who else?
6.
Is Don Drysdale in the Hall of Fame?
John Drysdale,
And
Don
Sandy
Sutton.
Koufax. Don Sutton went in as a fucking a Brave, I believe, or an Angel.
And he played forever for the Dodgers. Forever. Okay.
They're
Eric
not-
Gagne, probably
not in the Hall of
Fame. but
Not
should
in the
be.
Hall of Fame. Clayton
But
Kershaw
should
will
be.
in the Hall of Fame.
Name
But-
the 6. Eddie Money.
Sandy Koufax, Don Drysdale,
Don Drysdale.
Desi Vance, Don Sutton, and Burl Grimes.
There you go. Bro Rhymes. Everyone knows him.
No all timers. No real all timers, with the exception of Sandy Koufax.
Don
Pull up the Yankees,
Drysdale.
pull up the
Don
Cardinals.
Drysdale is an
Don
all-timer.
Drysdale couldn't hold Bob Gibson's fucking nutsack.
Oh my god. That's just ridiculous. Just
Eddie, all
ridiculous.
time. I'm sorry. To me, when I think all timers,
Listen, I bring up someone, when I bring up someone, you bring out the very best. So
because I'm saying all timers. We're talking about all timers because you're bringing up the Dodgers as this fucking the top of the top. They're the top.
no,
Dodgers
I said historically the Dodgers are a cornerstone of Major League Baseball. Cornerstone.
yeah,
for-
the last corner. The last corner.
They have if you combine Brooklyn and Los Angeles, they have 16 Hall of Fame inductees, and that would put them 4th on the list out of all teams.
Fourth.
I
That's
said top
great.
4. That's amazing.
Yes, that's the bottom corner. That's
Oh,
the bottom-
what?
Okay. So obviously Yankees number 1. I'm curious. It might be Cardinals number 2.
It should be Cardinals number 2.
Cardinals 3,
And who's number 2?
New York Giants.
That's why those motherfuckers can chant beat LA and it ain't no problem.
That's fine. That's fine. But I mean, I'm sorry.
To me,
What have the Cardinals done in the last 20 years?
And don't say the last 20. Don't say the
Okay.
last 20.
10.
There you go. 10. 10's good. 10's good. 10's good, not 20. Don't do 20. Don't do 20. 20, they have probably the best player, or one of the 3 best players of the last 20 years.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
So sure. I totally lost track.
Anyway, we got off track a little bit.
Yeah.
Baseball anyways. We're talking Rafael Devers. By the way, on Monday, and I said it, I don't know, like a month ago or whatever, about Ohtani not pitching ever again. Now, I didn't watch the game. I know they pulled him after 1 inning.
Did.
Eddie, did you watch the game?
I watched him pitch. I did.
How did he look?
So listen, he was amped up in his simulated games. He was topping out at 96, 97.
Okay.
He was throwing 99. He clocked 100.2, I think, the fastest like he's ever clocked. He was overthrowing. Okay. He was overthrowing hard inside, working up a sweat. Some dudes text me like, hey, how many strikeouts do you think he's going to get? Do I go over 6? I'm like, no, like, guys, please watch our show. Don't lose money. Like they said, here's why Ohtani didn't throw. And everyone's like, well, look, this is how good. I heard a radio show. I think Rogan and Rodney say, this is how good Ohtani is. He's not throwing rehab assignments and AAA. You dumbasses, we can't afford him. He's our DH, you stupid ass. Like, you're the Dodger affiliate, and you just literally said that on the radio. How stupid can you be? This is what they had to
rehab
do.
Assignment.
Yes,
rehab assignment right here.
Stupid radio. It's like the worst radio show on the planet. But they said he was only going to throw 1, 2. But listen, he has 4 pitches. He throws a sinker. His fastball looked great. He shouldn't have been scored on, actually. One of the craziest calls on the planet. It was Machado, I think. It was Machado.
Yeah, it was Machado. That should
who went fully around, and it was so egregious. It would have been strike 3. Next pitch, Machado sticks out the bat, hits a ground ball. I mean a pop fly, scores Tatis. So he threw 28 pitches. The thing, and I agree with you, Rafa, but the thing is, and I heard the interview afterwards. He feels, and this is what he wants to do. He wants to be a pitcher. He feels, and his words were, I feel like a complete baseball player when I'm pitching. He's happiest when he pitches. He likes pitching more than he likes hitting. And listen, he's going to the Dodgers need arms. I think you continue the same path, maybe up his pitches to 35, whether that be, a couple innings. And listen, the Padres, Tatis is hot right now. Machado's hot right now. I mean, they're crushing the ball. The Padres have a really good, offensive lineup. And I thought, obviously, he was sweating, he was working, and he was throwing gas. I thought he was overthrowing the ball, and that's going to come with just the pressure and whatever. But Rafa, your take on it? I know you think he should never pitch again.
Yeah, I don't think he should. To me, I don't think he should. I'd rather have him at maybe when Freddie's done playing, maybe transfer him to first base, maybe throw him in left or right or somewhere. I just don't think he should pitch. But listen, this is a perfect little rehab. It's kind of like a rehab assignment in game because the Dodgers, they throw bullpen games all the time. So he could be he's your perfect, and maybe the next outing he'll get 2 innings and get some of that rust off and But if he's happy, you got to keep him happy, obviously, right? And you paid him like he was going to be able to pitch and
100%.
I just think you're not going to see a lot of the stolen bases. Well, once he gets fully back into the rotation, you're not going to see because you're not going to want him running. You're not going to ask him to run unless it's late in the game and you really need it, and which they don't really need it because that fucking roster is loaded. So you might not really need it, but it's there. So I if he's happy with pitching, hey, you want the man happy. You've given him a shit ton of money. He's the best player on the planet right now. So you gotta, and if he says if he feels like a complete player, then you gotta go with it. What can you do? You can't let your star player,
Well, Boston did, and that's why Rafael Devers is
but Boston's done it multiple times. They did it with Mookie Betts. They traded Mookie Betts to the Dodgers when he was the second best player in the league. And now they traded Devers. And by the way, and I don't know if I posted it, I saw it last night. David Ortiz said, and he said it in Spanish, where he said, when your boss says something, you don't disrespect your boss. He goes, that organization, when they asked me to run, he goes, when they asked me to jump, I ran. When they asked me to do something or whatever, I swam, and I don't know how to swim, he says. He goes, that franchise is paying me for life. And so basically, Ortiz was questioning his loyalty to the franchise, and he should have, and he felt like he should have had the same loyalty that Big Papi had towards the Red Sox that Devers should have had, and he should have had a little bit more respect, and that's why they let him go. And we've seen Boston don't play.
And Boston and Yankees, even more so than Dodgers, you don't like cross those fans. They're so the roots are so deep. It goes to son, father, grandfather, and great grandfather. They take their baseball so personal. I mean, we saw it. I forget the guy 2 years ago was playing like shit for the Yankees, and they're at his doorstep, and screaming at him like he wasn't safe coming out of his house. It's the same thing in Boston. Did you see, Rafa? I believe it's Castillo, badass player from the Cubs. He had something like a 259 consecutive streak, and the Cubs manager sat him for being disrespectful to him. I think it's Castillo from the Cubs, but I just saw that right before we came on, and that's something that you don't see nowadays. That's the only power a manager or a coach has is the bench. It's the almighty is playing time, right? And in baseball, you have so many games. It sort of broke his streak, but it's like, dude, you can't talk to me like that. You have to show respect. You have to show respect, even if you don't like your boss, you don't like your upper management. That's fine, but be respectful. If respect is being shown to you, then you also need to be respectful. But Devers.
I feel like in baseball, the players can't. The NBA and the NFL, the players get away with a bunch of shit.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
They can demand to be traded. They can hold out. They can do all that. You rarely see that in the major leagues. And when you have a guy who comes out and I don't want to do this. Well, I don't want to do that. Well, listen, if we need to move your ass to first base because you can't move anymore, you got to do it. And you've seen it with plenty. And for them to trade a guy who I think had 51 or 52 RBIs. I think he was leading the league in RBIs, or at least
he was one or two. He was one or two.
Yeah, so he's leading the league or the American League in RBIs, and you just traded him because he was becoming a problem. And as good as he is, if you're becoming an issue, these major league teams, they're going to trade you. They don't want that drama because in the major leagues, the clubhouse, I feel like a major league clubhouse is a lot tighter group than in these other sports because they play so many games. They travel. They get one day off every, sometimes 9 games, 10 games. They don't have a weekly, they're off this week on Thursday. That rarely happens where you see a team that'll have a Thursday off one week and a Thursday off the next week. Usually they'll run off 8 or 9, 10 in a row. And so you become really, really tight. And when you have a guy who's being disruptive, doesn't matter how good he is, the major leagues, they're going to sit you. They're going to fucking trade you. They're going to designate you for assignment, whatever. Doesn't matter. They're going to do it, right? And if you're loyal to the club, they'll be loyal to you. But at the end of the day, Devers, I think he wore out his welcome in Boston.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I heard Conforto say it because Conforto with the new acquisition to the Dodgers. They asked, how are your teammates? He's struggled with and he said this verbatim. He's like, I spend more time with these guys than I do with my family. That's why Kike Hernandez, Teoscar Hernandez are so important in those clubhouses. They spend more time during the year than they do with their family. And really, baseball's a
I think
very
Kershaw
weird sport.
too, Eddie.
Yeah.
I think Kershaw
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah. They just, what's the word I'm looking for? Not camaraderie, but when you have good chemistry. Chemistry is really, really important. You could see, like we talked about it last week, Colorado Rockies barely snuck in, but you can ride getting hot. It's like a goalie in hockey. You can get hot and ride it to the playoffs. You might not be the most talented team, but camaraderie and chemistry, I do believe, plays a huge part in baseball. Let's move on. Let's talk about the Yankees and the struggles.
Real
I
quick
think,
before we move on to Yankees,
yeah,
quick. I was curious because I was watching Otani's his inning he pitched, and the only pitch that was slowing down his velocity were sweepers. So I did some math, and his fastballs and averages, both of them, if you take out the sweeper and his average, the average was a 98.3 mile an hour pitch from both of those. So he was out there just fucking throwing shit.
yeah.
It was beautiful to see.
Yeah. I had my uncle called me and he's like, ha ha ha. What about Ohtani? I'm like, what are you talking about? Ha ha ha. Like, dude, the dude was throwing gas. Like he'll get this figured out.
Yeah.
I'm almost scared that he's throwing that hard. Like, you don't need to throw that hard. But yeah, no, I thought it was impressive. He was not hitting spots, but fucking
Yeah,
impressive.
once he gets location down, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you're saying, the Yankees.
Yeah, give the stats, Eddie Money.
Lost 6 in a row today. They lost 6 in a row.
Yep. I don't know if the streak continued today of the shutout.
Yeah, they lost 3-2 to the Angels.
Yeah, but they were shut out 3 games in a row.
They were shut out for 3 games in a row, 29 straight innings to be exact. The only time they were ever shut out in 2 games in a row were back in 2015. The Blue Jays shut them out for 2 games on the 8th and the 9th. So this is in history that was their longest shutout, and by all teams, the Angels in New York.
Rafa,
They've lost 3 in a row to the Angels, by the way.
Yeah, swept, and I believe
they got game 4 tomorrow in the series. It'll be the last time they play. They actually swept the Angels in Anaheim a couple weeks back, and now they've lost the first 3 games. They've scored 2 runs in these 3 games, and those were today. They had 3 hits today.
How do you explain this, and how long can this go?
I'll tell you how long it's going to go. If they lose tomorrow, I would not be shocked, because now if they get swept by the Angels, Stanton supposedly is coming back, and I don't know if he came back today, but he's supposed to come back at some point this week, I believe. If they don't fix it real fast, Aaron Boone, as good as he's been or not been or whatever, he's the first one you're chopping. You're gonna have to fire Aaron Boone if you keep going at this rate, right? Because you're not scoring, you're not hitting the baseball. Or do you fire the hitting coach first and then see if that changes something? I don't know, but it needs to be looked at. If they keep losing and if they get swept by the Angels tomorrow, maybe they wait till Stanton comes back, see if that changes a little bit. But that I think will be a move that will be made if something doesn't change here real quick. And I'm thinking like the next 4 or 5 games if they get to that point.
Yeah.
Well, the Angels have their ace tomorrow. They got Tyler Anderson. The Yankees have Rodon pitching. So
it should be a good one. I mean, the Yankees had I think it was Yarbrough today, who's been really, really good. And you thought that they kind of stopped the streak there, but they couldn't get any. They had 3 base hits. They had 3 hits today.
Yankees lose.
Yeah, so I mean, those fans are going to get desperate when you have this roster, when you have Aaron Judge, and you have these players. The fans are going to get desperate, and we know how the newspapers are there. And for the Yankees, it's
brutal,
10x, right? And so, and they're still first in the NL East. How could you fire a manager when the team's first? Well, you've lost 6 in a row. You're not hitting the baseball. Something needs to change. If Stanton comes back and they're still not hitting the baseball, then maybe move around the lineup. I don't know, but they got to make a change ASAP.
The hitting coach has to be in one of those churches, just praying the rosary. Hitting coach will go before Boone, right?
Well, I hope so. I mean,
yeah,
we would hope, and I kind of want to look at what I'm going to pull up the box score real quick here, just to kind of see where they're at. But so you had and Goldschmidt was 0 for 4, Bellinger, and maybe if you move, looking at their lineup today, and they have plenty of guys. Oh, and Stanton pitch hit today, so he did come in 0 for 1.
He's back. He's back.
So he's fully back. He'll probably get the start tomorrow on the field, or at least at the DH spot. But you got to make him. If I'm the Yankees, I put either Stanton or Goldschmidt to hit behind Judge. I don't have Bellinger, who has too many holes in his swing, to hit third, or at least Goldschmidt, who's hitting 300, although he's 0 for 4 today, he's still hitting 300. I put him to hit right behind Aaron Judge, maybe Stanton and then Bellinger down the line. But you need some sort of protection with Judge there. And Judge is, he was 0 for 4 today. He's still hitting 366.
Hey, listen, Ohtani went 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts yesterday, and they still beat the Padres. But let me, I sent you.
That team is hits. The Dodgers.
Yeah.
They can hit the baseball, and Max Muncy's been playing a lot better. At least at the plate, he's been a lot better than we saw in the first month and a half or so. So you're getting a lot of contribution from
he got some glasses. That's why
he did get some glasses.
Good for him.
But I think the X factor has 100% been your Cuban cousin, Mr. Andy Pages, aka Pages.
Andy Pages 290.
He's been unbelievable. Already has reached his numbers from last year. I think he has 15 home runs, so many RBIs. He's playing with tremendous confidence. Before we get off of baseball, I'm gonna run around here. I want you to address the Padres, because if you didn't see it, Dave Roberts got kicked out yesterday. We saw it in the first game where Dylan Cease got Pages in the ribs, kind of pissed off. It was a fastball. We don't think it was intentional. There was no retaliation. We might have hit someone, but then they hit Shohei yesterday, and both clubs got a warning. Dave Roberts lost his mind. He's like, hold on. We haven't hit anyone. Now they've hit us twice. Why the hell are we getting a warning? Like, that's an unwritten rule. Like, you hit our star, we're coming after you guys. And I think they eventually did hit someone. But hitting Ohtani, man, is some fighting words.
Well, if you want to make yourself relevant, then you need to
I guess.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at, they played 5 games this year. The Dodgers are 4-1 against the Padres.
Yeah.
So I mean, they're 4-1 against the Padres. You need to do something. You need to change it up. You need to find some fire in your team. Fuck it. If you're the head coach, I'm sure the manager was trying to find some fire in his club and said, "Fuck it, let's go after Ohtani. Maybe it'll light a fire under your ass or not." But they need to change something because they're 4-1. They're 1-4 against this team right now, and so they lost the first 2 in this series, and I believe they've had early leads. I don't know how the game was yesterday.
They have.
I know they got after Ohtani, and they only got a run, I believe, in that first. But so you had to make. And listen, when you hit their best player, they're going to come back and hit your best player. Obviously,
I'll be right back.
Yeah, and to me, I think they did it to see if he can light a fire in his squad, because you're pretty much getting manhandled these 2 games, and you lost the first series. You only won 1 game in that series. So when you're 1-4, you try to change it up, and if you really want to make this a rivalry, fucking idiot Padre fans, you got to do something. You got to do something. So I don't mind them hitting players. I mind if they go after their head and stuff like that, but I don't mind hitting players. I'll be honest with you. I coach fucking kids, and I had one of my kids go out there and hit another fucking kid. And that was just because of a parent on the I'm dead ass. I'm fucking serious. I don't give a shit. And I had one kid who didn't want to hit a kid. I took him out of the game, brought my son in who never pitched, and I told him hit the next fucking kid. That's it. That's
Ralphie, get warm.
It might be fucking wrong, but it probably is wrong. It's 100% wrong to do it with
100%.
kids,
There you
but I
go.
fucking did it. I did it. So, and so it is what it is. Fuck it.
Oh my god, I could see I could see you just like Ralphie get his ass right now.
No, it's part of the game. It happens, and fuck it. It is what it is. I mean, but yeah, going after Ohtani, that's like we went after Ohtani. That's got to light a fire on our team. We got to do something. It didn't light a fire because they still lost the fucking game.
No,
so
they still got whopped.
yeah, they still lost 8-6. They're actually up 1-0 now. The Padres.
I think
Here.
this is today is Sheehan's first start.
Oh, nice. I
Okay.
did see him in the dugout yesterday. I
Yeah,
did see
today
him in
is
the.
he's getting a start today.
Listen, the Dodgers have built incredible depth. They have a complete 5-man rotation and 3 or 4 bullpen guys that are on the injured reserve list. So, baseball's been great. I love the game. There's been a lot of drama, some great games. Even the White Sox have kicked the Nationals' ass last couple games. So,
By
the
the
betting-
way, Eddie, real quick, sorry to cut you off. You brought up the
No.
Yankees. It's got to be something in that New York air because the Mets have lost 5 in a row. The Mets,
I was gonna say
the Mets were 45-24, and now they're 45-29. Have lost 5 in a row.
I mentioned
got-
it.
they got shut out today.
They both got swept last weekend. They both got swept.
Yeah, and they blew a game yesterday. They were at 4-1 and blew it late to the Braves.
Yeah, we're never gonna see the days of there's so many specialists and closing. Okay, you know what? I'll bring this up because I heard this on the Dan Patrick show. Someone brought it up, and I'm wondering how you would feel about this. I had never heard this before. I said this a while ago about Kershaw to extend his career.
I've said it for years. For 4 years, I've said it.
So Smoltz.
We've had that conversation here, Eddie.
Yeah,
We had it last year where I brought it up, where I thought Kershaw should have moved to the closer role.
yes,
Or a setup man because he's good for 1 inning. Can you
Yes.
imagine the best lefty of his era probably to now kind of finish his career as either an 8th inning guy or even your 9th inning guy? And I don't think he'd be bothered by it, to be honest with you.
Hey, listen, Smoltzy did it, and Smoltzy, because they were so stacked, right? You had Glavine, Maddox, and who was the other third monster in that freaking
Maddox, Glavine, that Steve Avery. But that was-
Avery. What about Ohtani moving to a I know he wants to be a starter, but to me, it's less stress because I had never seen. We were watching the game yesterday, and I'm like, wait, if he's pitching and is the DH when he leaves, when he gets taken out as a pitcher, can he still be the DH? I wasn't sure how that worked. Obviously, you can.
Yeah, you can.
But I didn't know. What do you think about that move? Maybe moving Ohtani to a closing role. I mean, that's
I don't think
adrenaline's
you see
amazing.
It's different. It's different, and you have to, your mentality is completely different, and you see it even with closers when they come in non-safe situations where it's like they're not the same. They're not the same guy when it's a non-safe situation. For a lot of the guys, you can really see it, but I can see it as you get later into the season, maybe in the playoffs, if they have all the guys back, like if they literally have, the 2 Japanese guys and Glass now, and you have 4 starters that can go. If you have 4 guys that can go, I can definitely see them, using Ohtani in the playoffs for an inning, whether it's to close it or maybe bridge it from 7 to 8 or something.
Yeah.
And they'll have plenty of depth when it gets to the playoffs. As long as all these pitchers come back, or even, 3 of the 4 or whatever, you'll have plenty of depth because you can then use Kershaw in those spots as well. Maybe 6 to 7, maybe a lefty matchup, whatever. And then you can also use Ohtani. I just don't see it in the regular season because the closer has to be in the bullpen and he's got to be there ready to go.
You're right.
Imagine if think about it, you're up a run and now Ohtani's due to bat second in the inning, but you need him to close. It wouldn't really work.
You know what? Oh my God.
I didn't even think of that.
I didn't think about that. I've never called
you guys didn't manage baseball, guys.
Yeah, I didn't. I want to call Dan Patrick and slap him in the face because I was like,
just send him this video. Just clip it and send it to him, so that way, do what Stephen A. does: steal all our shit and fucking talk about it the next day.
I want to slap him right in the face because he had me thinking, but you're right. That's ridiculous. Completely ridiculous.
Speaking of older pitchers today, Chris Sale, he pitched today. He pitched all but the last out today. He went 8.2.
Really?
Innings. Yeah. Shut out the Mets.
He's pitching well.
Yeah.
He's pitching well. Chris Sale's pitching really, really well.
Did you guys see
the Braves got off to a slow start?
Did you guys see the whole story, the College World Series, where the guy was pitching a perfect game, and the guy was hit by the pitch, and he didn't get out of the way, but it was a close game.
Kind of controversial.
Yeah, to me, what do you mean? This is not a regular season game. You're not hoping to get pitched a perfect game. The guy hits you, but a lot of people are like, Bush League. The fuck you mean Bush League? Like,
it was 1-0.
I think it might have been 3-0 or 2-0. It was a close game. It was the 8th or the 9th, or wait, they don't play 8 or 9 in college, do they? Or
no, they play 9.
Do they? Yeah, but it was towards the end, and dude, it's an advanced game. Like, you do whatever you can to
100%, and it's the College World Series. Are you kidding?
Yeah, so ridiculous.
Matt Roach's
great outing, by the way.
Matt Roach got a question. Is Soto the new Bobby Vanilla? Bad Mets contract 2.0.
Soto is not the next Bobby Bonilla. Not yet.
And Bobby Bonilla, first of all, is still getting paid by the Mets and hasn't played baseball in 25 years.
Yeah.
Damn.
Probably 25 years, and still gets paid by them every year. And I'm not sure how much longer he's getting paid. Soto, I never listen on. That's an unwritten rule on this show. When you have leverage, and I tell guys this at work, I tell people the best advice I could give to people in business and in life is there's very few times, and I love Pirates of the Caribbean, and when Captain Jack Sparrow says it, leverage. When you have the proper leverage, you got to capitalize on it. There's very few times in life where you have leverage. Soto had the leverage, and he got the most that someone was willing to pay him. I didn't think he was worth it, because he's not Ohtani. He doesn't pitch. He's not a great fielder, but good on him. Good on his agent. I will never hate on someone for getting as much money as possible from your boss, owner, CEO. If they're paying you, that means you have value. Get as much as you can when you can get it. And I know Rafa feels the exact same way I do on that. Listen, everyone knows I Brock Purdy hater. I don't think he was worth 54 million. I know 54 million is a new 34 million. But do I hate him for getting that? Do I not think he should have gotten that? Get what you can, Papa. Get what you can when you can get it. Life is short, and people work hard. If someone's willing to pay you something, that's what you're worth. Plain and simple.
I think we actually are owed like a bit, like at least like 1 to 2% of Brock Purdy's contract. We kind of boosted his agent to be like, hey man, these guys are arguing, but really he deserves this much.
Listen,
I feel it. I feel it.
Yeah, crazy ass shit. You want? Can we end up talking some golf here, Rafa?
Do whatever you want, man.
So this week or tomorrow we have the Travelers Championship. It's in Cromwell, Connecticut, close to Boston. I looked at the odds. Scotty is the favorite at plus 310, I believe. It's a nice track. Scotty won it last year. Keegan Bradley, who is a Boston area guy, won it in 2023. He's also a favorite. I think Rory is up next with 13-1. And then you have Colin and Xander Schauffele, all the names. Obviously you don't have the Bruce Keptas, you don't have the Chambos because this is a PGA event. But last week was so great, and golf is just like completely just going out of control. Every insurance commercial is golf. Every I don't know if it's my algorithm, but you can go on TV and shit that has nothing to do with golf. It's just clearly golf is just a red hot iron, and it's getting set off. Are you watching the Travelers Championship, Rafa? And do you have any favorites? Because Keegan Bradley, who I said won it in 2023, it is around his hometown, and he needs some Ryder Cup. If you watched, I forget, Full Swing the first year, how much the Ryder Cup means to some of these guys. They want to be on this team badly. You have any favorites, any picks?
Scotty
coming up for them? Scotty.
He didn't putt well this last weekend. That's what did him in. Because if you on Sunday, he played the best. The thing is, he couldn't putt for shit. He literally struggled on the green. So I think this weekend, I think it's going to be one of those where it's like, all right, he's fucking back, and he still finished fourth last weekend or fifth, and he didn't play great. He couldn't putt for shit. So I would have loved to see him win last weekend, just because what the British Open would have meant a little more. British Open means the world as well. It just would have meant a little more, which would have been great to watch. People are still going to watch it, but I think if he would have won, and maybe that would have been his tournament to win, to complete the Grand Slam. But I think Scotty's he's too fucking good, man. He really is just that good. And Rory, dude, I don't like Rory. I don't like him. I like that he won the Masters. It was very emotional and this and that.
Yeah.
I just don't like him. I don't like his attitude. I just don't like him. And he's out there throwing clubs, looking like fucking Ralphie out there, chucking fucking clubs and shit and all that, which is fine. I like the emotion. I just don't want you chucking clubs. God damn it, a fuck or whatever, fine. But you're chucking clubs around. It just makes you seem like, like
not only did he chuck clubs, did you see him smash the tee box marker? Did you see that?
Marker. I think Wyndham Clark smashed up the locker room.
So I don't know if this is true, but Wyndham Clark, they say, is banned from Oakmont. He damaged
the locker room.
I saw it. The place is historic, whatever. Smashed up the locker room. They say he's banned. I don't know if that's true. I'm sure they'll work that out. I'm sure he's going to write a nice check and get a whole new locker room built for them. But Rory, I'm starting to get it now. I'm starting to get the hate that people have for him. Obviously, I was rooting for him because I thought he was faithful to the PGA. He was the mouthpiece when this whole live and PGA thing was splitting. And I thought, good for him standing up, not taking the cash. But I'm getting this. I'm starting to understand the hate. I'm starting to understand the hate for Rory and him acting just kind of not talking. After this thing, he said he's earned the right not to talk to the media.
Yeah, that means you're just a pompous asshole. That's
It's
the thing.
bullshit. It's bullshit.
That's the thing, Eddie, because you're as a professional athlete and you who advocated for the PGA and
Yeah.
and you're the biggest or one of the 2 or 3 biggest stars on the PGA tour, and you're not going to speak to the PGA media or to the media in general. During the U.S. Open or during the PGA Championship, I think is bullshit. And I know he didn't want to talk about his driver, and he knew he was going to ask a question or whatever. But you didn't talk to the media, and then you come out and you did what you did this weekend, and you were a dick because you had a bad round, and I know you're upset. You might have had a bad round or 3. It might have.
Everyone was upset, Rafa. Everybody was upset.
Everyone was upset 100%. And so, but it's a bad look when you're one of the 2 bigger stars on the PGA Tour or 3, whatever you want to call him. But he is one of the bigger draws. And for you to not talk to the media and act like a dick, it makes you come off as a pompous asshole, as an entitled asshole is what and I hate when people are like, oh, well, they don't have to speak to the media. Well, yeah, you kind of do. You kind of do. And especially in this sport where you advocated for your tour and you cried about it, about all the guys leaving to live and how this and that. And now you're kind of, not going to show your face because you had a bad round because your driver was tested and banned or whatever. It's total bullshit. So, by the way, you mentioned the tournament this weekend. Max is back in the field. Max Homa, here from Santa Clarita. I want to see how he comes back. Missing the U.S. Open, and he's one of the top probably 50 or 60 players in the world, or 70 or whatever. We know how good he was 2 years ago. He finished 12th in the Masters. He was in that hunt. And then at the PGA, he was in top 4 going into Saturday, and he had a bad Saturday and a bad Sunday, a really bad Saturday. He misses the he couldn't qualify for the Open, and now he sat out last week. Now he's coming back. He should have a caddy this week. How does he come back from that? I'd like to see that. He's going to the earlier tee time tomorrow. I think he's teeing off at 6:10. Yeah, he's in a group with Jason Day tomorrow morning. He's going to tee off with Jason Day.
Malbon guy. There we go.
Malbon
What's he going to wear?
So that'll be. I want to see how he comes back from it. I'd like to see him do well, obviously. So we'll see how he comes back from that. That's going to be a story I think to watch this weekend. I think he's going to come back and have a little top 10 finish this weekend. I think he's going to come back from
that. That would be incredible. I saw something yesterday where I guess this kid's really famous. He's interviewed every superstar. I've seen him. I don't know his name, but he was interviewing a bunch of golfers, and he was asking a bunch of people, who's the funniest guy on tour? And 2 people said Max Homa.
Which, I saw that. I saw the kid.
And I know, I don't know Max Homa. My daughter and my son-in-law and your good buddy, they know him well. I never knew that about that he's a funny dude, but I would love to get the chance to maybe, talk to him one time. But
well, he had a thing on the internet where I think it was on Instagram where you'd send him a video and he'd make fun of your swing. He'd talk shit about it.
Oh, that's right.
You remember that? Yeah, he'd talk shit about it.
That is great. Oh God, don't send him mine. Do not send him my swing.
But I'm the one where you swing around a tree.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'd like to see him do well. That's something I'm going to be watching tomorrow. For sure. I'd like to see how he does this weekend.
Listen back. We have had requests for blue chips being brought back. We are 2 months away, 3 months away from NFL football, college football, which we will have our blue chips. Can you give, Rafa, do you have any blue chips? Baseball. But I'm fiending for some blue chip picks from the guru. You have anything on deck? Soccer.
Man. Let me let's go through here.
Let him get in the lab real quick.
Get into the lab.
Look at the soccer games for tomorrow. You know what game? The PSG game.
Hold on. Everyone's getting there. Hold on. Everyone's getting their pens and pads out. Hold on. So Rafa's Blue Chips, we're bringing the segment back. Popular demand. People want the Guru's Blue Chip picks. What do you got, Rafa, on deck? Because we're gonna post this, man.
PSG's playing tomorrow night at the Rose Bowl. They're playing a Brazilian squad, Botafogo. I like PSG.
I've been there. Great Brazilian steakhouse.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
Botafogo PSG tomorrow night, 6 p.m. at the Rose Bowl. I like PSG tomorrow night. Dude, I think they can win this thing. And if they win this thing, winning Champions League, winning, they won their league, obviously. They also won the Copa de France. They won some other fucking trophy. I mean, if they won this thing, and they're playing phenomenal. So I like PSG tomorrow night. The over-under is 3.5, and I think the line's 1.5. I lean towards PSG tomorrow night. If you want to bet some soccer, PSG tomorrow, I think would be a great pick for you. And then you have Inter Miami and Porto, which is going to be a hell of a game, by the way. And Porto's actually favored. You want to find some value. Inter Miami tomorrow, and they're playing that game in Atlanta. There you go. You put Messi in Atlanta, you're going to get some fucking people in there. And that's a noon game, so it'll be a 3 p.m. Atlanta start. I think that should fill up. And that's going to be a great game as well. I think watch that game. Inter Miami, definitely value. They probably got to be at like plus 110 or something. So maybe if you want to, because Porto's minus 140, it looks like here. So
Inter Miami's plus 335
to win the game
at the end of 90.
Oh my God, are you kidding? There's all value. If you ever get Messi at plus money, you put some money on it. So take a little bit of money, $25, $50, sprinkle it in with Miami. Maybe even do a little $50 parlay Inter Miami PSG. You're gonna get some value in there. I think PSG is destined to win this fucking thing. I really do. So, but that Inter Miami for sure tomorrow is great value, and PSG I love. I think they're playing lights out. They're trying to win this thing. They really
PSG's that game, the total is 3, and their money line is minus 550. But
what's their line? Game line should be
minus 2.
Minus 2. You should be able to find it at 1.5 before the game goes, unless the total 2 and then 3. I don't think they win this game 3-0. Brazilian side's always very good. But I like PSG to win this game tomorrow. I like PSG to cover. If you can find the line at 1.5, I think they win by 2 goals.
For those that don't know, can you explain? Because some of them are like 3/4 or quarter.
Oh, God, I always get this question.
Yeah, if the line's like minus 1.5 and someone's looking at it and they see minus 1 3/4, do they bet?
Okay, so minus 1 3/4, what basically means is if the team wins by 2 goals, you win half of whatever you bet. If they win by 1, you're fucked. If they win by 2, you win half of your bet. If it's 1 3/4, if it's 2, you obviously push. If you see a line at minus 3/4, if they win by 1, you win half of your bet. You also see games where you see like plus a quarter. So plus a quarter in the case of, let's say, a draw, and you took the team that's plus a quarter, you're going to win half of your bet. And then obviously minus a half, that's just, logical. You have to win by a goal. So, but PSG, I think the line should be 1.5, not 2. They have it at 2. So I think they win by 2 goals is what I believe with PSG. And Inter Miami, if it's plus 1 or plus 3/4, that's a bet that you should take. There's plenty of value. It's Messi. At the end of the day, it's Messi. I know it's FC Porto, the best Portuguese side there in Portugal, but it's Inter Miami in the States, in Atlanta. There's going to be plenty of people cheering for that Miami team. It's going to be basically a home game for them.
They're plus 3/4 for minus 110.
Yeah, there you go. So plus 3/4 on Miami, you got value. And if you take a money line, you're going to get even more value at a little bit of over 3-1 odds there. So maybe dabble in there. But PSG, I love, and Miami, Inter Miami has definitely got definitely a chance there. Also, if you look at the Brazilian side, Palmeiras, that's also they're also playing. I think they're playing one of those terrible teams. I think that's the team that might have lost 10-0, if I'm not mistaken. Let me double check. But
no, Matthew just says I like Inter because the rest will throw the game.
No, these guys, they're the ones who they're the ones who drew with Miami, but that shouldn't happen. It was just a lot of misses by Miami there. So, but keep in mind, take PSG, Inter Miami, plenty of value there, and watch out for Real Madrid's next game. I think Xavi Alonso today was his first game. He was kind of playing with the lineup a little bit. They missed a penalty late to win it. Valverde missed the penalty, was blocked. They're in the 90+2, I believe. Real Madrid's next game, I think Xavi Alonso will put the pedal to the metal the next game, whoever it is they're playing, and I don't know who it is. But keep in mind, Real Madrid's next game, bet your entire bankroll on it. $50, $25, put it all on Real Madrid in the next one. There's no way Xavi Alonso is going to start with 2 draws or even a loss in that next one.
I think Vegas.
Oh,
Vegas heard you were talking.
I think Vegas is like, oh, this guy's giving out some key information and didn't like it. I think they were very upset. Can I sprinkle in Keegan Bradley top 10 finish? It has to be plus money, not a ton, but Keegan Bradley to finish.
Give me 1 second, and I got you.
Yeah, Keegan Bradley to finish top 10 at the Travelers. I'm not saying it's his home course, but he's familiar and won it.
He is plus 240.
Plus 240, man. You know, throw 40, $50 on that, make you some nice coin.
Anybody, did you have the golf lines pulled up? Do you have Max's lines?
Yeah, let me see. For to win, or what do we want?
Just his lines and that.
To win, top 5, top 10, miscut.
Got you.
I know what you mean, Matt, but reality, FC Porto is the face of Portuguese. They're the most popular team there, is what I'm saying.
I see.
Rafa, can you promise me that we make it to the next buckets Malbon Buckets Club journey in Miami? That has to be a
that's
must.
That's like an exclusive thing to get in.
We have to be one of those members.
You got to be. I don't know, but
I
see plus 9,000 at Max Homa to win it outright.
Really? I think it would be more.
Yeah. He's not popping up. One second. What is it? The Travelers
Championship in Connecticut, starting tomorrow. Can we talk? Is Big Vern's match, is that public yet?
Yeah, it's been announced.
Slap News posted it, so I think so. Yeah.
So let's talk about this real quick. Our guy, Big Vern the mechanic. If you don't know, Power Slap, previous heavyweight champ and number 1 contender, has a huge match against Big Mouth, Slim Daddy Turpin. They're going to run this back, and I think it's in New Orleans. And I just want to give a shout out. I just want to give a shout out to Big Vern. Big Vern, we're going to be right there supporting you. I've never been to New Orleans. I want to go, and if this is confirmed, I will be front row, and I'm just so excited for you to get back on that stage, man, because Big Vern is a friend, and just an incredible man and human being. I don't want to watch his balls too much, but yeah,
he's in our intro for a reason.
He's in our intro for a reason, and his family, and the dude is just. When you say jack of all trades, master of none, I'm not sure he's not a master of a shit ton of trades. This dude is just. I told him the other day, like he's on a pit crew. He has a fence business. He's remodeling homes. He restores Ford trucks. He's on the Power Slap. I mean, this dude.
He's a pilot now, right?
He's a pilot. When you talk about squeezing the juice out of life, Big Vern is like my mentor. Like I look at his story every day, to see what this dude is doing. And if you guys don't follow Big Vern and Power Slap, this dude, first of all, he's going to make you feel less of a man because he literally rebuilding engines with his left hand, remodeling,
rebuilding houses with his right.
and then going to a city council meeting, which he's on the board of in his city at night, while being a father and husband and slapping the shit out of people. I just want to say good luck to our guy, Big Vern. We will be there, Papa, if we are allowed to be there, and having some beignets and gumbo and all that shit, because I really, and Highland Games. Thank you for reminding me, Matt. And the Highland Games. And if you don't know what the Highland Games are, just like it's a Braveheart, but now.
For real.
Yeah.
He's also, by the way, the #1 light heavyweight contender.
Yes.
So if he wins this match, he'll definitely get another title chance.
He might be going up to heavyweight because they know Turpin's not going to make weight or something shit like that. Who knows? But yeah, Big Vern. Yeah, we got to get him back on the show. I wanted to give him his space. He's so freaking busy, but we got to get him back on soon. And we speak often. But Big Vern, nothing but love, and we're excited. We're excited for you, man, to make your presence back on stage. And I'm telling you this right now: Big Vern will be somehow utilized in Power Slap UFC. He's so well spoken. He's going to get a job with Dana. Dana knows he's just an asset to the company, and whether he retires or not, they're going to use him because he's just too freaking amazing not to be used. We get those lines. Do we get those Max Homa lines?
There's only him to win.
Only him. Okay. Rafa, anything else, man? Anything else? It's 2 hours. I think
that's it, man. I got nothing else for you.
You guys have completed your contract with me today. You have done your you guys are now on overtime.
Allowed to be there now.
Yeah. Now you guys can do whatever you want. Big shout out to Malbon. A lot of Buckets Club members now following the podcast. I'll give a shout out to them. If you guys, it's almost like that secret crew, right, Rafa? Like if you own a Jeep and you pass it with, you pass by a guy in a Jeep, you had that sign. It's like that weird club. I feel like we're now a part of that Buckets Club, weird club thing. So just want to give a shout out to all the Buckets Club members that are now following us and following the podcast. And other than that, Rafa's camera's not going to be back up.
No.
Oh, I'm back up. Oh shit, sorry. My fault. I didn't even start the thing. My bad. Should be
no worries. Yeah, you gotta say goodbye to the people, man. You gave your blue chips.
Thank you, guys. Make sure you watch some golf this weekend. FIFA World Cup. The Thunder probably finish it off tomorrow night.
You think so?
Yeah, that line's moving. Fucking, and it started at 5. It's like 6.5 or 7 now.
6.5 earlier today.
Yeah, it feels like it's one of those games where the Pacers blew that game. What was it, game 4? And that was you kind of felt that. I'd be shocked if the Pacers won tomorrow. I really would.
I kind of don't like. Listen, I love me some TJ McConnell. I love me a white point guard. I kind of don't like how I don't know if it was his choice or not for Halliburton to come out and say, yes, I am injured. I do have a calf strain. That shit doesn't happen in the 80s and 90s. I'm sorry, Rafa. Call it garbage.
There was no media back then, Eddie, for you to even know.
Stop. ESPN has been around since 81.
Not the same, man. It's not the same.
I'm sorry.
You guys had the
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I get what
you're saying. By the way, to me, I think in that game, I think the Pacers come out and kind of, I can see the Pacers come out. I can see them come out strong and then just fade in that second quarter on. I don't think they can win this game. I really
can. We get a blue chip first half pick? Are they minus?
No. I don't. Like I said, I think in the second quarter, I think they fade. I think they come out and kind of hit them in the mouth maybe early. But I mean, you never know. It'll all depend on the heart of the Pacers and how they come out. But I just think when the last 2 games, it was really kind of a deflating to lose,
They also
especially
Yeah.
said Halliburton. They're prepared to play without Halliburton too. That's what it said.
yeah, and they have plenty of guys who can play off the bench. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
And Halliburton hasn't played great. Let's be real.
No.
Be real.
He didn't make a
Hasn't
single
played
field
great.
goal last game.
What's that?
He didn't make a single field goal last game.
Well, I think he left early in the game. He only played 34 minutes. He shot 6 shots. Like, he didn't look great, and he hasn't looked great in the series, with the exception of hitting, a game winner. But other than that, he hasn't played great.
So one last issue, and this is it. I promise to say goodbye. And Rafa, I know that you think you're getting off the hook, but we have some business to take care of. And I wasn't going to hold you to the fire. You damn straight, man. We need to repost it. I don't want to go find out when that dude is fully cleared. I don't want to go see him pitch for 38 pitches.
No. We got to get a real start. Once we see him pitching, that he's pitching 4 innings, 5 innings.
Yes.
I was gonna send it in the group chat, but then I also thought the exact same thing.
Yeah,
Because
once we get a full start from Ohtani, then we'll make the next one after. That's a home game.
If you think people haven't DM me like he started, they have. So they have, and so that's the last thing. Eddie Money, any last words for the people?
Nah, man. Enjoy summer. I think summer starts in like 2 days. Enjoy the good weather. Go to the beach.
What do you mean,
hit your
Stomach?
vac- Like the
Really?
actual season. Yeah.
Oh shit! I started that shit last week. Guys, I want to say thanks to Uncle Zero, Ricky, Matt Rocha. Happy anniversary. The whole Buckets Club fam. Rafa, I appreciate you, man. That Ray Lewis jersey is fire in the background. CJ, be pissed off about the let's get your what do we want to post first tomorrow? US Open? I mean golf, or what's hot off the we want to post soccer, blue chips.
Probably blue chips. We'll figure it out.
All right, man. Everyone, we love you. We'll see you next week. 2 Nobodies with the Mic, episode 139.
Peace.
Later.